A report by the British Council on Sleep Issues of 2017 found that 30% of people sleep badly at night. So, 74% of Britons sleep less than 7 hours per day, and 12% of the population less than 5 hours. Not surprisingly, a leading expert on sleep issues Matthew Walker says that today the world is struggling with global epidemic of lack of sleep. Last 17 years I suffer from chronic insomnia. I used to examine the ceiling and look out the window, that's what I mostly do at night. This, of course, affects my day life, from work to nutrition. Behind many consultations with doctors who had prescribed sleeping pills, introduced me into a state of hypnosis and recommended that the special mattresses. There was also music app for relaxation and sleep. I learned a bunch of information that needs to help me to sleep normally. But it never happened. In the end I set myself the task to find truly useful and effective ways of dealing with insomnia and experience them for yourself during the month. The alarm clock wakes me up at 8:30. Breakfast, coffee, boiled eggs and toast. Easy to charge and to work at 10 a.m. Promise yourself to forget the coffee after 3 p.m., going to bed at 22:30. It is very important to adhere to a schedule. This is one of the most important rules. Only biological clock is synchronized, all other body systems will work more stable. It was hard to abandon phone and other electronics. But this is extremely important because the screens of modern devices generate specific light, which prevents the formation of melatonin, the hormone responsible for ability to fall asleep quickly. So my boyfriend and I leave our phones outside the bedroom. However, the most difficult to perform were the counsel to go into the other room every time the dream did not go. It was cold and uncomfortable. And to pull themselves out of a warm bed is a challenge. However, this was one of the main conditions in the struggle with insomnia. Drive. Matthew Walker explained, every time you can't fall asleep within 20 minutes, get up and go to another room. Read a book, meditate, but do not open the laptop or ebook. Once again you feel sleepy, get back in bed. At the beginning of the second week adhering to sleep has become more difficult. I remembered that there is little fault. Thinking that alcohol will help you fall asleep faster, had a glass, but refused dinner. However, with sleep expert Matthew Walker has an opinion about alcohol, which supposedly helps to sleep. Alcohol is to some extent reassuring, but significantly affects the quality of sleep. So all week I tried to go to sleep at the agreed time. In addition, refused coffee after dinner, and finally removed all electronics from the room. As a result, on the 12th day I managed to sleep a few minutes after I ducked under the covers. Good dream lasted for 3 nights. 3 nights I fell asleep without going to the other room. There was a feeling of calm and vigor. But suddenly the insomnia has covered me again. This is likely to be associated with depressive states, which nearly 2 decades haunt me. Insomnia alone. When listening, close in sleep breathing guy, and sometimes in the dream he talks about cheese, there is a feeling that I'm the only one on the planet, the man who never sleeps. I'm bored and get out of bed to occupy myself with something. I noticed that I began to read books faster than Sasuke. Entertain yourself, do not feel that I can again sleep. Affected by the lack of caffeine, I stopped drinking it in the afternoon. It causes drowsiness closer to 6 p.m. In the afternoon I feel a surge of vitality and energy. Interesting experience on the weekend, when work did not seem necessary, but very desirable. Towards the end of the trial period I decided to conduct a kind of experiment. Almost at 21 o'clock included an interesting movie and decided what to watch it to the end. Needless to say that at the appointed time, his eyes began to stick together. The film I did not finish, but sleep is not fully managed. When sleep does not work, really want to pick up the phone and dip in the social network. Sometimes I have resisted the temptation, blaming yourself that you are unable to fulfill all the conditions of the experiment to cope with insomnia for a month will not work. I followed all directions perfectly. I'm an ordinary man, but I will say this, certain rules before going to sleep helps to normalize the rhythm of life.